You may begin your presentation.
We are living in times where irresponsible production and consumption has become a common state of affairs. With a global population predicted to reach 9 billion by 2050, we face a dual challenge of ensuring continued production of commodities without further depleting the planet's natural resources. South Africa is one of the biggest consumers of luxury goods in Africa, and sadly, one of the greatest polluters of both land and water. Indeed, our generation has perhaps contributed more to the destabilization of the environment than previous generations. We are literally eating our planet bare.
So, who do we blame for this? The fourth industrial revolution for mechanizing processes, or big corporates for carbon emission? Perhaps governments for inadequate provision of basic needs? The answer is none of the above. Global organizations like the United Nations have come up with agreements such as the Paris Pact in a bid to discourage irresponsible consumption on a global scale. But should the preservation of Mother Earth be the sole responsibility of global organizations? Our team reckons we stop pointing fingers and share the pie of responsibility. As Enactus Durban University of Technology, we are committed to act together towards achieving the following aspirations.
Save life on land and below water.
Fight hunger and poverty in our communities, one step at a time.
Facilitate quality education and training.
Provide clean water and sanitation.
But how does a small team of students such as ourselves achieve this? It's simple: reuse, recycle, and repurpose.
Today, we present to you our aquaponics and soap recycling projects. Using great tools of innovation, a team of 116 vibrant students in collaboration with key stakeholders from across 5 industries has unleashed a whirling force that will forever change the way that our nation views business for generations to come.
They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Our aquaponics mission began last year when we presented to you a story of one man's transformation. Pilani, a rising entrepreneur driven by passion for community development. His story began with something as simple as shifting a mindset, taking a risk, and venturing on a unique path which moved him from subsistence to commercial farming. It is this passion that we saw him embarking on an exciting farming method called aquaponics.
Aquaponics is a collaborative method of growing plants and farming fish simultaneously. The waste from the fish supplies nutrients to plants grown hydroponically, which in turn purifies the water. In comparison to conventional methods of farming, the aquaponics system proves much more efficient as it reduces the maturation time by over 30%.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow the Enactus Durban University of Technology team, represented by
Sondelani Mwandla,
Lebohang Phiri.
Phumlile Chungela.
Nokwanda Kamede.
Percival Vezi.
and Pilan Ngumalo, to resume our story today as we take you through the same path, this time around showcasing progress made in scaling the project in this Enactus year.
Nutsburg is one of many communities in South Africa that still has most people living below the poverty datum line. And needs analysis revealed that approximately 42% of the active population in the area is unemployed. The majority of the community members relies on subsistence farming for a livelihood. However, with the ever-changing climate, the feasibility of conventional farming is threatened, and so is food security. As a result, most farmers resort to using vast amounts of pesticides, fertilizers, and water for irrigation.
Pilani is one of the few people growing vegetables for commercial purposes in Nutsbank. But with only 3 aquaponic systems, we soon realized that they were insufficient to meet the rising demand of fresh produce in our local markets. In light of all these challenges, a holistic approach has been adopted in which livelihood assets were identified to allow the upscaling of these projects. And these include 2 hectares of land owned by Pilani that was not being fully utilized, the basic farming skills among the community members, the technique of building a additional greenhouse structure using 2-liter bottles as our cost-effective material.
The first stop of our intervention was taken by the Enactus DT industrial engineering students who designed a blueprint for the greenhouse structure. The proposed prototype required an estimated total of 6,600 plastic bottles. And faced by this huge number, the team took on an initiative to collect the plastic bottles from surrounding areas, beginning with the DT campuses and moving to the Durban city center. To speed up the bottle collection process while sensitizing the community about recycling, the team partnered with 2 primary primary schools from Pinetown. And the class that collected the most boxes from each of the primary schools received a Christmas party courtesy of Dex Butchery. This approach yielded an overwhelming response in which over 4,900 boxes were collected from the 2 primary schools alone.
The next step involved was bringing the blueprint to life. Over a period of 4 days, the team, together with 2 casual workers, sourced by Pilane, constructed a 10 by 5 meter greenhouse. Thereafter, we planted spinach, lettuce, and tomatoes in the new greenhouse. In order to ensure efficient use of space in the greenhouse, more vegetables were planted in horizontal and vertical pipes.
This project has adhered to a triple bottom line sustainability. Pilane has employed 2 additional casual laborers from his community to work in the greenhouse. The supply of fresh produce has increased by over 20%. His community members are now able to save on money that they would have otherwise used to go to the nearest market. To date, an average of 100 rand per day is being generated from the sales of fresh produce. To further capacitate Pilane, the team, in collaboration with IT students and the Office of the Vice Chancellor and Community Engagement, facilitated a basic computer literacy training. Furthermore, utilizing the institution's budget, we were able to acquire a computer and router for Pilane to use for his business operations.
These projects have since attracted the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development under Ilambe District, who have committed through the letter of undertaking to invest 400,000 rand, I repeat, 400,000 rand in building additional structures in the identified areas. They have further pledged to use this platform in training more community members on aquaponics farming.
While during the project proposal with the Department of Agriculture, we received an invitation from the city of Mhlatuze in Richards Bay to partner with us in replicating this project in their communities. The city of Mhlatuze, in collaboration with the Managing Transformation Solutions, also known as MTS, have in principle committed an investment to a sum of 500,000 rand to ensure this project is a success.
For replication of this project, we plan to adopt a train-the-trainer model. Through this model, a training facility will be created where 1 trainee will be responsible for 2 aquaponic systems. Once they've graduated, they'll be required to form a cooperative and train more community members on the aquaponic systems. This will create a ripple effect of empowerment, thus having far-reaching impact in Richards Bay and beyond. Through bottle collection campaigns in school, a culture of responsible citizenship has been cultivated to more than 1,500 scholars. In a community facing many social dilemmas, hope has been restored and investor confidence boosted.
In due consideration of the environment, the crops grown within the greenhouse structure use organic fertilizers, thereby reducing ecological footprint and addressing sustainable development goal number 13. By repurposing 2-liter bottles, we have reduced carbon emission by over 2,000 kilograms and addressing sustainable development goal number 12.
The current waste economy results in an industry that is estimated to be worth 15 billion rands in revenue and employs over 29,000 people. However, 17 billion rands worth of material currently taken to landfills has untapped recycling potential. The hospitality industry, which is an integral and indispensable part of the South African economy, is unfortunately one of the major contributors to land pollution.
On a daily basis, millions of bars of soap are being discarded around South Africa. This is a terrible waste, a disaster to the environment, and a social travesty given that many people in South Africa have little or no access to basic sanitation needs.
As Enactus DUT, we saw this as an opportunity to play an active role in the drive to stimulate the economy through waste recycling, at the same time promoting sanitation and hygiene through recycling and repurposing used soap.
Our first step was to approach hotels in and around Durban in order to forge collaboration for provision of discarded soap. Once we had 3 hotels committing to supply us with soap, our next step was to find people who would benefit from this initiative. The team settled for a non-profit organization called Open Door Crisis Care Center, a safe haven for victims of human trafficking and abuse located in Pinetown. We decided to assist 10 members of this organization in registering them as a home and hope cooperative, which will serve as our first official beneficiary of our soap project.
To kickstart the production process, we consulted with a formulation scientist, Vusi, who assisted us with the research and development of products such as the bubble bath, liquid hand wash, and powdered detergent.
We then conducted a market test in selected areas in order to check the customer's response towards this product. From this exercise, we realized that our target market was unwilling to embrace the idea of bubble bath and hand wash being made from recycled soap. However, there was a positive reception towards the powder detergent, whose continued production proved to be unfeasible, as a single 500-gram packet required 2 kilograms of grated soaps to be utilized.
With research showing that 80% of small businesses do not survive beyond their first few years of operation, we were about to become another statistic. But, as they say, when faced with challenges, look for a way, not for a way out. Enactus DUT refused to fail, but rather chose to re-strategize. Our first task was to find premises in which soap production could take place. Thereafter, we find vacant building in one of DUT campuses.
Utilizing the good relationship we have with DUT, we decided to approach the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Community Engagement, Professor Moyo, with a proposal to use one of the vacant buildings as our production house. She gladly assisted us in granting permission to use the building as our production house. Using sponsorship from Ford, we were able to renovate the building and buy more equipment in order to start our production process.
Sadly, a production house at DUT meant that our beneficiaries from Home and Hope Cooperative could not access the premises due to DUT strict access policy. To counter this, we decided to create a system where our beneficiaries will become sales agents and distributors of our products. Enactus DUT provided them with a free starter pack valued 196 rand. The profit generated from selling starter pack was used to buy their first stock.
While the production house was undergoing renovations, we redesigned our product portfolio and settled for liquid detergents, namely the toilet bowl disinfectant, multi-purpose cleaner, and a dishwashing liquid. To sustain the project in times where the use soap is scarce, we decided to have the formula for the virgin product as well. The team then employed a production supervisor, Begani, a former DT graduate who had sadly remained unemployed for a long time since graduating.
Our formulation scientists conducted trainings with the Enactus DUT soap project members, together with Began on how to manufacture the various products whilst maintaining quality. We then created the production roster for our Enactus DUT soap project members to assist with the production.
For a wider geographical reach, the team decided to involve other beneficiaries as sales agents. To fully equip these sales agents, the team facilitated a market training in collaboration with Zizi Training, a brainchild of Sazi Kume and Enactus alumnus. These products are now distributed in and around the areas of Umlazi, Pinetown, Ndwedwe, and Tsibini.
To date, 28 sales agents have been signed up to be distributors of our products. We sell our products to them at a factory price, and they in turn put a markup to get to that distribution price. For example, we sell 750 milliliter bottle of dishwashing liquid at a profit of 4 rand, and they in turn put a markup of 53% to get to that distribution price. Profit generated from selling is being plowed back to the business to cover manufacturing cost. Furthermore, 120,000 liters of products have been made.
This project has empowered our beneficiaries with marketing skills, business skills, and has provided a source of income to 28 people. Let us hear from Begani.
My name is Began Zigalala. I'm from Umlazi Township, the second largest township in South Africa, with a great number of young unemployed people. And I was one of them after I have completed my diploma. Now I'm currently employed as a production manager. Before I was employed at Enactus, I had no practical skills in production. But now, through the training I've obtained from Enactus DUT, I'm now able to produce a dish liquid soap, multi-purpose cleaner, as well as a toilet bowl cleaner. I've also been empowered in soap production, in entrepreneurial skills, as well as in running the factory efficiently. I can also open now my own business and run it well. I'm earning about 3,000 rand, and I'm able now to take care of my family as well as my needs. I'm able to take out my girlfriend. I'm able to attend the rugby matches. You know, I'm a free man. I'm now employed. Thank you.
In this Enactus year, over 29,000 kilograms of soap has been collected and repurposed. By reusing soap, we reduce environmental pollution and promoted responsible consumption while addressing sustainable development goal number 12 and 13.
For sustainability of these projects, we plan on employing additional laborers in boosting the quantities of the projects. In addition, we plan on replicating soap recycling projects and further capacitate home and hop cooperative members in production skills.
In this Enactus year, we have taken heed of the clarion call towards the Africa we want. Inspired by the African Union Agenda 2063, Enactus duty aspires to
reduce our ecological footprint by changing the way we produce goods and consume resources in our communities, as well as
create a community whose development is people-driven and relies on the potential offered by its people, especially its women and youth.
Ours is an endless journey towards success. With the resilience of a palm tree, we press on and press forward.
we go beyond the call of duty, dedicating over 36,208 hours, changing lives in our communities.
In this Enactus year, a team of 116 dedicated students have traveled for more than 29,000 kilometers, working on 5 projects.
We refuse to be lethargic bystanders, those who wait from silence for others to act. We are actors, implementers, change drivers.
We engage, commit, and sacrifice.
We are reusing, recycling, and repurposing.
We are Enactus Durban University of Technology, committed to changing the nation, one community at a time.
Hi, thanks for your presentation. I have a question regarding the soap project. How do you propose to exit from that? Because it sounds as though it's a business that you've built as Enactus. So what is the way you see to exit and create a sustainable business out of it?
Thank you for the question. You are right. The soap recycling project is owned by Enactus DUT. This was a decision made by Enactus South Africa, realizing the amount of capital that was invested into the business. However, for us to exit the project, considering that our beneficiaries are depending on this project, we plan on securing premises that are outside of DUT so that they can be employed as workers within the system so that they have a source of income. I hope that answers your question, sir. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Good job. My concern, when I look at your cash flow statement here, I see that you've received sponsorship from Ford for 3 consecutive years, and since 2015, 2017, 2018, and it's been going down or declining every year. What's the reason for that? Because, I mean, if you're offering value, it would rather go up, not down.
Thank you very much for the question, sir. Actually, with the prize money, it's based on the special competitions that we entered. Every special competition comes with a different amount. So those different amounts reflect the special competition that we've entered and received the money. So the typical example, the 65,000 rands is for the piggery project that we've entered last year, and the other one is for specifically for the soap project. So the different amounts are mainly the different amounts reflect the amount that the sponsors are investing in the project.
And to further clarify on that, the amounts are different because of the exchange between the dollar and the rands as well.
Just want to find out regarding the soy project, in terms of the inputs that you require to keep that project sustainable, how are you going to ensure that you're constantly getting sufficient soy to ensure scalability in this project?
Thank you very much for the question, ma'am. So apparently, as we mentioned on the script, that after we have secured partnership with 3 hotels, then we started to establish the project. So furthermore, we actually are looking forward with collaboration with other hotels. So mainly now we have about 8 hotels that we have collaborated with. And also, we have mentioned on the script that we also adopted a strategy that we have virgin products, of which once we don't get sufficient supply of soap from hotels, we can still produce.
Just a question from myself. In your annual report, you mentioned that there's 1,533 people were directly impacted and over 11,000 indirectly. Is this?
Is that in this financial year?
Thank you very much, sir. It's both financial and social. Yes. So apparently, when you speak about Yes, sorry. It's basically for this Enactus academic year from last year until now. Thank you very much.
Okay, I've already got the mic over here. Sorry, guys.
Okay, settle down.
Okay, you guys say you've raised 400,000 rands from the Department of Agriculture for your farming project. So I'm interested in knowing what is the production capacity of that farm you built? So in kilograms per meter in terms of quantity of veggies that you produced, so we know what the yield is. And secondly, what is the ROI that has been promised to the department to justify this investment to avoid headlines in the newspapers?
Thank you very much, sir, for the question. So in terms of how much the structure can give up in terms of capacity, so mainly it depends on the growing mediums of the system. So in our aquaponic system, we have 3 growing mediums, of which each growing medium can have the capacity of 60 plants grown within it. So the advantage of this system also is that it reduces the overturn time 30%. So once you upscale the project, we're going to adopt a bigger structure. So with this structure, the growing mediums will be at a larger scale. So fish now, hence I'm saying that the other one we have has 60 plants, so the other growing mediums will produce more than 60 plants, of which they give probably around 400 kgs a month.
What were you prepared to sacrifice on a personal basis to ensure the success of your projects?
Thank you very much for the question, ma'am. So apparently, I would like to speak about the aquaponics project. So through this aquaponics project, we actually didn't go home for December holidays. We started the collection and to make sure that we collect over 6,000 bottles to realize this greenhouse tunnel. So during that period of December, I and the team actually went to Newsburg to erect the first greenhouse tunnel made of plastic bottles in South Africa.
Please join me in thanking the Durban University of Technology for their presentation and hard work.